吉です。第3の殺人予告書が届いてしまいました。まずはこの第3の予告書が今まで届いた2つの予告書と似ているかどうかを比べてみます。座っただけだった。どうすればいいんだろうなこれ。
Miss Hastings tore the envelope.
White Horse Mansion, ロンドン。どこに何か。Not know at White Mansion and White Horse Court. Try White Horse Mansions. 特に変わったところもないもんね。とりあえずヘイスティングに話を聞こうか。
Mon ami, it is a pleasure to be working with you again. I have missed you this past few years.
取り上げたってことは悪くはないってことだから、ちょっとここで考えてみようか。違うの
Right, let us compare this new letter with the second one. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Let us examine the characters in this word. I don't see anything in particular. Let us look at another word.
まあ普通にこの
Yes, this I is weird.
だよね。どれでもいいから。
Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects.
これって一緒
I
じゃ
have
ない？
to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
もう分かってますよ。どうせこの W でしょ。
The W is not printed properly.
散々見たじゃないですか。
Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
あとは
Let us examine the characters in this word. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects.
なんか
My
見
theory
覚え
was
がありますが、
These two letters were written with the same typewriter.
同じところが一緒だったから一緒ですねっていうことですね。
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
考えてみよう。Why does the murder warn us so late? どうしてこの殺人者はこの警告が遅れたのか。これは住所間違えたからじゃないと、Jap has decided to reveal detailed press. The alphabet model is now famous. 違うか。これ The letter arrived late because of the error in the address. なんか住所間違えたらしいんだよね。
The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days ago. However, our man made a mistake in the address, which explains the delay. All the same, the post office took their time correcting the error.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is not quite as well known as that of Scotland Yard.
Oh.
Poirot, the telephone. It must be Jap.
仕方ない。行きましょうか。はいはいはい。電話嫌いなんですけど。
I have some news from Churchton. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clark was murdered while out on his evening walk.
あらあら。
Sir Carmichael Clark. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.
多分喉のお医者さんが夜殺されたっぽいです。最初の殺人者の人が通ってたとこと2人目の殺された人のが飲んでた薬に多分名前が載ってたっぽい。おお。
The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clark, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friends. I will come soon.
発見された時はまだ、死体は暖かかったようです。で、そもそもポアロの住所を間違えたから、連絡が遅くなったのは犯人にしてみればラッキーなことだったよねと言ってました。
This place is very calming.
ラビットホール。ピクチャースクエアロック。ピクチャースクロック。絵になる。
The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening.
毎晩ここに来てたみたいですね。
The body is just in front of a bush. One of the only bushes in the surrounding area.
この辺にはブッシュがいっぱいある。低い木のことですね。
Jab has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth.
指輪か。
A signet ring, very probably with the Clark family's coat of arms.
金が残ってる。パスポート
Nothing
だ。
appears to be missing from this wallet.
パスポートもあるし、お金もあるから物取りの犯行ではないということですね。
An Oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was
4
fastened.
時半。鍵だ。来
It
たよ。
is pointless.
また鍵だよ。この亡くなったお医者さんは、喉のスペシャリストのお医者さんで、第一の被害者だった咳き込んで喉を 患ってたおばさんの飲んでた薬を処方してた人だし、第2の事件で、殺害された歌を歌ってた女の人が喉の調子を整えるために通ったり薬をもらってたところのお医者さん、点と点が線でつながった感じですね。相変わらず ABC ノートがありますね。よいしょ。あじゃあ、あらあらあら。
An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time.
今回は血はついちゃってますね。
Sir Carmichael's throat was cut.
喉切られたのか。
A professional murder.
プロの殺し屋だって言ってます。
The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush. Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises. クライムシーンを見てみよう。まだまだってみる。 The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled.
押し
Let
つ
us
ぶさ
now
れた
try
跡がある。
and get our brain cells to work.
What was Sir Carmichael's position when he was killed? 殺された時のポジションはどうだったか。The body was found in front the only bush in the surrounding area. The body was still warm, so the zone solid with blood covered shaved area to extend. これじゃなくてこっちか。違うな。これかな。Circumhand his back to the bush.
Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut his throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Did Sir Carmichael see his murdered? The victim had his back to the bush. The victim only hand warm. So Michael's wearing sorry. 後ろ向いてたでしょ。で、後ろの木がちょっと潰れてたからここに立ってたってことなんだよね。victim これかな。Commented without seeing who struck him. 犯人は見てなかった。
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing.
The killer is the murder was carefully planned. 犯人は注意深かったですねっていう感想と、あとは翻訳こんにゃく使おう。 オポチュニストは殺人者は日和見主義っていうか、要は軟弱者よねっていうのか、In other words, carefully planned。 どっちでしょうか。こっちかな。
The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
That could be the motive for the crime. Theft could be the motive for the crime. The murder was very violent. こっちやない？
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
じゃあ次の行動。Question the victim's brother。彼の兄弟インタビューをしに行きましょう。ある話。
I had better go up to campsite.
なんか正解の
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest.
なんか正しい方を選ぶと3ポイントのエゴポイントで、違う方を選ぶと1ポイントのエゴポイントしかもらえないっぽいと、あとはこの人が被害者のお兄さんで、この人が被害者の秘書さんというわけで、お兄さんから見ようかな。
There is something very viril about him. There is something very viril about him.
どこだろう。襟か。Blood shoulder.
Franklin Clark is an adventurer, the sort of man that women like. There is something elegant about her. She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clark.
じゃあまずはおじさんから聞こう。
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
これはこのおじさんがレディ・クラークがなんか喋るのをなんか邪魔したって文句言うっていうのと、これは主張する、主張した、主張を促す、主張してくださいかな。でこっちが理解する、理解しようか。
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
彼はだいたい8時半には、外を歩く習慣があった。Point out that Thorold is suspect. Ask him. Villagers knew. Point out that Franklin is suspect.
And did people of the village know Sir Carmichael's habits?
I don't know. It's possible.
What were you doing last night?
After dinner, I went to my bedroom. At 11 in the evening, the telephone rang. It was the police. I went to look for my brother.
Ask if it was a dark night. Ask what his favorite book is. 好きな本を聞くか、昨日は暗い夜でしたかを聞くか。
Was it a dark night?
It was a new moon. I took a lantern.
So it was you who found the body.
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
は
Miss Clark.
Oh, Lady Clark must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming.
まあヘイスティングが
There are some very valuable objects here.
戻ってくる間に家の中を探索しよう。そんなの非常識じゃないか。いやいやいやいや、お前が見てくれてればいいんだよ。
It's locked.
Locked。ああ、鍵が必要とな。あとなんだろうね。こっち側には何もないでしょ。あ、テーブルにあった。
A turtle.
は
A dragon.
あ、はいはい。
A tiger.
タイガー。あれかな。なんだっけ。ほら、4つの方へ。
A crane?
そうだね。死生獣だっけ。
It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic.
好きな本聞けばよかったんだね。コンペ
Conside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clark's collection.
あと1個なんだろう。これか。
Dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme.
とりあえずドラゴンが好きなことはよく分かった。ここは見たけどね。
There are some very valuable objects here.
価値のあるものがいっぱいあるねと。あ、ここにもあった。Thinking きた。これ
The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him.
赤、黒、青、白。 かな。まあなんかそれっぽいね。
Turtle, dragon,
赤
crane and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
なるほど。赤黒青こうか。でこれだ。向きをマジか。ちょっとノートを出します。これ本当に書かなきゃいけないやつじゃない？動いてないよ。あったね、なんかね、点があった。これは分かった。よいしょ。いいですよ。違う、ここにあるかな。ないよね。戻りますよ。待ってますよ。このテーブル見に行かないとダメなんですよ。点が全部内側に向いているということかな。と、竜の頭はこの点が全部内側に向いてるっていうことと、あとこの竜がこっち向きだから、竜の頭が鳥で竜のお尻が亀ってことですね。であれば大丈夫だよね、多分。急いで家主が戻ってきちゃう。
Turtle, dragon, crane and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
ちょっと待って、色忘れちゃった。青、赤、白だよね。赤。違う。これでこうしてこれを違う、鳥はこっちだった気がする。
Position of each motif resembles that of those on the table. I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard? This is interesting.
へえ。
These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here.
セレモニーウェポン。1個なくなってる。
Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, Comsite Churton, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan.
なんかキャンサー。
Yes, Miss Gray.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clark's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Indeed, mademoiselle. This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
She appears to be very flustered.
またなんか化粧が崩れてる。早い呼
She
吸。
is unable to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
はあ。
Here? Teapot with black dragon, Gangxi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
If he gave her gift, 彼は彼女に何か贈り物しましたか Ask him.
Was it difficult working for this elderly gentleman?
He wasn't old. When I mean,
Did you have a good relationship with your employer?
he treated me well, and I am sorry for his death.
Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Comside.
Ask for her version of the fact. Ask where she was at the time of the crime.
What were you doing yesterday evening at the time of the murder?
I was sleeping. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
Ask what she think about Franklin. Ask if she is in a relationship with Franklin. Ask the reason for her adoration to Franklin. What think about Franklin? Franklin についてどう考えますか？なんでフランクリンをそんなに嫌ってるんですかって聞いてみます。
Why do you hate Franklin Clark?
But why would I hate him?
Miss Gray, if I may be so bold,
一番
please
お
do
バ
not
カな
take
質問
offense.
しちゃった。
My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clark kissing Miss Gray at the foot of the stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene. Sir Clark is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush. The old man walks quietly along the gravel path.
通り過ぎてったまだ待つ Wait
He then passes the bush and continues on his way to the house.
ああ待ったあった待ちすぎちゃ
No, Sir Clark used to gaze at the sea. Let us think again.
うもう一回考え直しましょう
Sir Clark is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush.
ここでは待つ
The old man walks quietly along the gravel path.
でここであっちを
Then he turns towards the sea to gaze at it.
Attack from the left, attack from the right 右から左から右からじゃないの
The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, Monsieur Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
第3の事件の経緯は判明した。
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
あの人が現れた。
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes, indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Kirst, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning. My head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Ooh.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clark. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
Oh.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
全員が集合しました。イエーイ。ということはここできっと犯人はあなただをやると思います。ということで今回はここまで。次回からおそらく解決編に入ると思います。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。